Marie walked through my doors. Well, she emailed me first, and I had no idea who she was. I thought she was some older lady going to come talk to me about GOP. And so she and Jared walked up and walked in our door. Chris was gone, and I thought that it was deja vu. I said, "I love you. I know you. Why are you here?" She said, "I'm Marie March." I said, "You're Marie March." So we hit it off that day. That day we knew that we were put together for a reason. And so she has become just one of my favorite people ever. So it is my honor to introduce Marie.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Chris. Thank you guys for hosting. And thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you today in celebration of Independence Day. Yesterday, I was on the phone with Jennifer, giving her some moral support for today's picnic, and I heard my son yell, "Mama, there's a copperhead on the porch." Jennifer was on the phone with me. She heard the whole thing. So some of y'all already know that's the exact reason that I wear cowboy boots. I hate snakes. I wear boots almost everywhere I go, and I like to follow that up by saying I plan to wear cowboy boots to Richmond, symbolically.
A lot of snakes down there.
Because there's snakes there. Yep, and I ain't getting bit. But what do snakes have to do with Independence Day? Well, we all know of the Gadsden flag, credited to Christopher Gadsden, a soldier and politician from South Carolina. The snake was an established symbol for America at that time. Benjamin Franklin notably used it, saying the rattlesnake never backed down when provoked, which captured the temper and the conduct of America at that time. In the fall of 1775, the British were occupying Boston and the young Continental Army was hunkered down in Cambridge, lacking the supplies to last through the season. This was the Battle of Bunker Hill. It was here that Washington's troops, the young Continental Army, were so low on gunpowder that they were ordered not to fire, y'all know this one, until you see the whites of their eyes. A merchant ship was returning to Philadelphia from a voyage to England. On board were private letters to the Second Continental Congress that informed Washington's troops that the British Army was sending 2 ships loaded with arms and gunpowder, an opportunity to capture supplies that they had to capitalize on. A plan was conceived by Washington and the Second Continental Congress to capture those cargo ships. To do so, they quickly authorized the creation of a Continental Navy, starting with 4 ships, including the merchant ship that carried that information from England. To accompany the Navy on their first mission, Congress authorized the mustering of 5 companies of Marines. Some of those Marines that enlisted that month in Philadelphia were carrying drums painted yellow, emblazoned with a fierce rattlesnake, coiled and ready to strike, with 13 rattles and painted with the motto, "Don't tread on me." That motto became part of the Gadsden flag, the same symbol that 245 years later is now flown on many flagpoles, worn on t-shirts, and honestly, it's on most vehicles here in Floyd County. This flag is a warning to an oppressive government. You won't tread on me. This fierce American spirit resulted in the Declaration of Independence, the document that declared all men are created equal. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This freeing document was justified by the listing of 27 grievances that colonists had against the tyrant king. I can't help but recognize the similarities between the era of our founding fathers and where we are today. Just this past year, we've seen economic and education shutdowns, small businesses shut down, and the government taking grasp of our religious liberties by forcing the closure of our religious institutions, our churches. We as Americans have always desired to be sovereign people, free men and women. And as it seems that every night when we lay our heads down to bed, we keep waking up to government control over our livelihoods, over our children's education, the ability to worship, and our right to defend ourselves, all passed down to us by another tyrant, Governor Ralph Northam. All the while, Richmond's ruling party, the Democratic Party, works on a daily basis to strip the constitutional rights from law-abiding citizens and undermine those unalienable rights from our most vulnerable, the unborn. The similarities are clear, but what is our response? We must reinstate our sovereignty. And how do we do that? We have to go vote. We have to go vote in droves with the mindset our forefathers carried, freedom. We have to wake up on November the 2nd and make it a point to declare ourselves sovereign, free people once again. If we don't, we will continue down the treacherous path that we find ourselves on today, under the same ruling party, under the authority of always another tyrant. As a community, we don't need to agree on every issue. The colonists certainly did not. We just need to agree that we are meant to be free men and women with those certain rights, and the right to educate our children as we see fit, and the right to take control of our livelihoods once again. So I'm asking you guys for your vote this November, but I also ask you to join me in voting the right way all the way down the ballot in November. So I want to thank you. I'm not going to keep y'all. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm looking forward to joining the celebration of our sovereignty and our independence. But really quick, back to the snake that was on my porch. Usually, we cut the head off the snake. But turns out it was a rat snake, and we let it go. This time. Be safe and God bless. And we need to introduce Mr. Morgan Griffith.